And laughing like that guy. So the guy left.
That was exactly how he laughed.
Next time, give it loud, everybody, for Anthony Eugenio. We're gonna have next time. Very funny. Wayne Russell, everybody.
Welcome to the Open Mic Pain with Anthony and Wayne podcast.
How have you been?
Doing good. Coming off the 4-day weekend. I took the Thursday off, so it was fantastic.
Oh my God. I try to do the same thing and my life crumbled because of it.
Yeah?
God damn it.
That's the shitty part about becoming an adult, is when you take time off, just other shit goes wrong.
Yeah, and the stuff that you took off went wrong. So I took off Thursday, and then one of the guys that works for me got in an accident, and I had to cover for him all weekend. And then
What kind of accident?
Car accident.
Yeah, is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine. That son of a bitch. No.
That makes for a horrible story. All right, go on.
Yep. No, he's fine. Just enough to have
It's
to
not
make
Kenny,
me cover.
is it?
No, it was Kenny.
Oh, good.
But he's fine. And unfortunately, then I had to go and build a deck on 4th of July actual because the store wasn't open. And, yeah, for my father-in-law. So that was fun. Got a new deck for him. And then I worked more to cover for car accident. And then here I am. But 4th of July is pretty sweet. I got to do a couple shows over the weekend. That was sweet.
You did. I wanted to talk about those. Sounds like you had two really good shows with a 4th of July sandwich.
Yeah, so Amesbury Days, I was like, oh, I'm dead at that one. I'm gonna be so fucking dead. Because I did one last year, and I think they might have moved venues for some reason last year, where they did it at a bar, and the bar was like split. Maybe this was a different show, and I was just confusing it. But man, I ate shit at that one. It was like designed to, but this one was in a conference room, and it was great. The crowd was cool. It was over 100 people, all sold by the Amesbury Days people. And yeah, it was like remember that show we did at the Polish American Club? It was like that kind of
where
venue.
They split up the room because they had a brand new dance floor. They didn't want people fucking
this one,
stepping on.
imagine that without the dance floor, but like that style looking room with, where you have like that cut out into the wall where the stage is and all.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was cool. They were nice people. And then on Saturday,
I was gonna say that's a nice type of room. Like the Parish Center for the Arts in Westford is kind of like that. It has a stage that's like flush with the wall and like almost like I almost call it like a theater type setup, but it's obviously not as big as a theater. But those rooms, historically for me, when I do rooms like that, they kind of scream, you're here for a performance, you're here for something, so people tend to pay more attention.
They do, yeah. They're a little more echoey. I don't like. Don't like the echoey factor to the rooms. I want short ceilings for comedy, but we'll take it. It was, but yeah, it was a good show. Good people. They Amesbury Days, like a week in Amesbury where they all just do fun stuff every day. So it's cool to be part of that. And then Waterville, Maine. It was Waterville. No, Anthony. Oh my God, I almost fucked myself. Waterville Valley, New Hampshire is where the show was, and I almost drove to Waterville, Maine, which was 3.5 hours in the opposite direction. So that was close.
Oh, really?
So
it was different. So where was? Where's Waterville Valley, New Hampshire?
Fucking Canada, basically. But I think it's out like North Conway, basically that area. It's fucking beautiful. It's like in the center of mountains, and there, it's like nice rock streams all over the place. It's pretty sweet. And
damn, that would have sucked if you went to the wrong place.
I know, this close. But luckily, I normally don't ask for addresses or anything like that, but Booker's out of the country, so I had to get the address in advance, and I was like, oh, thank God. That would have been
it's less than 2 hours away from me.
Oh, Waterville?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was about a little less than 2 hours for me, too.
yeah, hour 45 for me. Yeah,
Wow, technically closer to you. Isn't that crazy?
yeah. I've never heard of that place in my life.
Yeah, it was really cool because they so that was like 150, I think, or something like that. Did that with Ken, both of them, Ken Rogerson, fucking the boy.
The boy.
We were, oh man, he remembers my name now. I worked with them 3 times in a week, and I said at the first one, I was like, listen, my only goal for this is that you remember my name by the end of it. I was like, because we worked together 300 other times, and I can see every time you look at me, you're like, nah, like I'm not gonna get it. So I had a couple cues to get him to remember. So the first one, I was like, all right, Ken, imagine my last, it's Eugenio is my last name. So all I'm gonna just give you half of it that you got to remember. Every time Donald Trump wants to say the word huge, he says huge. So just call me huge. We'll work on the Enio later. Let's start with huge. And he was like, that's great. Oh my God, anything huge. He walked on stage, he's like, give it up for huge, 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 huge. That's pretty funny. And then he came in the next show, and he's like, hey, I got a better way to remember your name. He's like, have you seen the show The Help, or the movie The Help? And I'm like, no. He's like, damn it. And by the way, I feel like I was a little rude, but I was expecting this to be a really old movie. Just saying, because Ken's old as shit. But it was a brand new movie with Emma Stone in it. So, fuck me. He was watching brand new shit in the theater.
Isn't it like 10 years old?
Is it? I have no idea. He said it was a newer movie. See, maybe that is to him. He's like, yeah, it's like within 10 years.
I'm going to put on my Jeremy hat here. I'm going to find out. But real quick, did you happen to tell him that you don't need to remember your last name, so you don't need that trick?
No, he definitely was like, you probably forget this all the time. This is a good trick.
Dude, that was a 14-year-old movie.
He was like, brand new, just came out. At least my instincts were right, and he was like, holy shit, I watched myself a new movie.
It's an old one.
I guess the character's name is Eugenia or something like that. And he's like, perfect. I'm just going to think of you as The Help. I was like, not the first time. Not the first time. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Damn.
That show was awesome. So it was awesome because the crowd was awesome, but like, it's a resort. So they all kind of like own places there or are vacationing there. So they all kind of treated it like it was their venue. I've never seen it before, but like every table cleaned up after themselves. It was insane.
Wow.
Yeah, there was kids there. That was a bummer. Still sent it.
Yeah.
Sent it.
How old do you think?
I'd say the youngest was probably like 14, maybe somewhere in there.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it wasn't
You
like
could say the
kids.
C word, Nefsler, in front of a 14-year-old.
I mean, you'd be called it if you were a 14-year-old most of the time in my life.
I was,
Definitely. Yep, every day.
yeah. Many times.
Yeah,
Yep.
you had the FF, is what we'll call it.
Yeah, a lot of alliteration.
It was good alliteration.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were really, really fucking cool. I did it with Dan Donahue, both shows, too. Who's that
Love Dan
beast?
Donahue.
Oh, my God, that guy's so funny. It's annoying. It's annoying that they're both so funny, because I am quite easily the worst when I'm out there. I like when it's subjective, when it's like, who knows? This is a showcase. I could have been the best. It could have been the... This one's like, it's in the book. It says when you look at the manual for the show, it goes, this guy's the worst. At the bottom. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, man, Dan's so funny. Crusher.
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
From Amesbury, too, which led to some extra crushing.
Oh, yeah, he must have known somebody there.
He knew half of them. He brought half the crowd, and it was like 100 people. And he literally, like, a huge section of it was part of his work. Yeah, he murdered.
That's awesome.
Got all sweaty and everything. Love when he
I brought
crushed
half
him
the
and
crowd for a show we did together.
You did.
We
did.
were in Portsmouth at Tour Golf. It was me, you, Zach Valencia, always very funny, and Harrison Stebbins. We talked about this a couple podcasts ago. I had never met Harrison, never saw him, and I have to say, he shot right up to one of my favorites. He
Told you
was so
he was a
much fun
beast.
to watch. He's incredible.
He's very funny, and it's pretty cool because it's a way of like you can see how to be how as good as he is. You just can't do it. Is what I like about Harrison. You're like, oh, he's just like has expert level charisma. Like that's his superpower, and you're just that's something that you got to be born with. Dances all. I was a little worried for him because I feel like his personality is best in a big giant stage because he bounces around so much. But he crushed that small room. Good crowd work.
He did. Killed it. What I liked about him was, I did, like I said, I've never seen him perform. I didn't know what to expect, but you told me that about him. And when I was talking to him before he went up, I was like, I don't, not that I didn't see the energy, but it was just different. You know what I mean? Like he's just different. And when I brought up Zach, one of the things he said was, oh yeah, just saying for Boston, whatever. So I said, this next guy's from Boston, blah blah blah. So I went to Harrison. And I was like, hey, anything you want to say? He's like, oh, he already said from Boston. I really don't care, whatever. And I was like, all right, fine. And then he comes up to me after. He goes, hey, you gonna do time between us? I was like, no, I'm going to do time before you. Are you crazy? He went, no, whatever. You want to do time? I was like, I'm not doing time before you. And he's like, yeah, okay, whatever. It's just like really, just his demeanor was so. And then he goes up there, he's like fucking bouncing around. It's like, hey, Fedora guy, you look fucking gay.
Yeah, he did say that. He grabs the mic real close to the thing. He's like, yeah. He is very
dude, it was so funny, so
aggressive.
Funny.
You can get far with that. Speaking of, I hosted the Amesbury show, and I told you it was a great show. Was very happy with it, above average for my set. But a comic asked me to do time before they went up, and it was Dan. And I gotta say that's reasonable, but I didn't until I got put in the position again. Where I've had headliners do that before, and I don't care. It's like if they're gonna have me do right before then to get a joke, so they can go, to the bathroom or some shit like that. Like I'm expecting it to bomb, and I'll figure it out. But this one, like it was after Dan, and he crushed so hard that my normal instinct is to just bring up the next person when someone crushes so hard, because you're like, why wouldn't you want that energy? But the next person wanted me to do a joke to lower the energy, which was interesting. And it was like kind
of... Was that the reasoning?
I think so. They didn't really say, but after talking to... Because I worked with the same people roughly a couple nights later. I wanted to ask about it because the person wasn't there that asked it, but I asked the other two, like, why would you want me to do that ever? Like, why? And Ken actually had a good thought to it. He goes, well, like if I'm a low energy comedian and I'm following Dan, who's a really high energy comedian, it's nice for the host to change the energy before I go up. And sometimes that means just like doing a low energy joke as opposed to like a really, like, don't do your one that you're bouncing all over the stage. Just do a joke. And if you're a host with, that's not like, I'm not a super loud person, that just doing a joke brought it down to her level a bit. And then she went out and she was kind of slow paced and did great. So I went from...
That's interesting. That's an interesting way to look at it. So my thought when you initially said to bring the energy down was more of a, he did too good. I don't want, like, I want to...
No, they said...
comparison. But what you're saying makes some sense. But what I've been taught from, Katrobi when I took his hosting class was if the energy is high, just keep going. Just boom, boom, boom. Like when I hosted in Portsmouth. Everybody did great. Like, you did a guest spot. You were just kind of fucking around a little bit. You were doing things that you're not super familiar with. You're trying out, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But you still ended on a high note, so I just brought Zach up, and then Zach had a fucking killer set, and then boom, here we go. I'm not there to bring the crowd back at that point, right? I'm there to be the guy who just grabs the baton and passes it real quick. I don't have to run.
I like that most of the time too. But I think it's like, think about the opposite.
Sense.
Yeah, like Carolyn Plummer. Like imagine she's awesome, crusher, low energy crusher. So she's cerebral, lots of thought jokes. Maybe
She also has that opener that is made for that scenario.
yeah, I'm the high energy part. Yeah, but imagine she goes first in the scenario of a show, and then you're the host, and the next person that you have go up is Harrison. Those are so different comedians that you might want to do a high energy joke before you bring up Harrison, no matter how good Carolyn does, just to shift the energy a bit for Harrison. So that was, and Ken's perspective wasn't do that. Like, wasn't like you should totally do that for people. It was more like that was the mechanics of why that person asked you to do that. Because the person that asked was very experienced, like 15-year comic. So I can see like them understanding that, like, oh, I don't want to go up after a super high energy guy who has been crushing with half the crowd. I gotta kind of have my slate slipped in. And Ken also had an amazing. So I asked him about people doing crowd work before him, if that bothers him. Just because I like to get the perspective of headliners. Like if someone went up and they crowd worked the whole time, would you be like, what the fuck?
He's not a big crowd work guy, right? I've only seen them one time. I don't remember him doing much crowd work at all.
No, very, very traditional joke teller. Great jokes. Just a killer for 30 years or whatever. And he was a writer for a couple TV shows. Did Sirens on FX and Rescue Me, he was a writer on. So great setup, but his perspective was awesome. He was just like, I don't give a shit what you do, or like he's like, tell every joke that you tell in the same premises I have if you want. He's like, it doesn't matter. He's like, I get paid more than you to overcome that. He's like, if the guy does a bunch of crowd work, well, I got to adjust. It doesn't matter. I will figure it out. He's like, if you do a joke,
you get paid.
Exactly. Look, there's money in this. Yeah, he's like, if it's 4th of July, he's like, if you did a 4th of July joke and I got a 4th of July joke, well, I'm gonna make sure that mine's good enough where they're gonna forget about yours. Not in the sense of like yours sucks and mine's good. More like I'll put it at the end of my set. That way they'll forget about it by the time I get to it. But he's just like, there's a million tricks for me to be fine, and if I can't overcome that, it's kind of on me. Which I've never, a lot of headliners have particular shit that they don't want people to do crowd work before. They don't want the host to do material before they bring them. Like lots of things that headliners want to set up the show so they have the best chance to succeed. And his stuff was like, put me in Nam. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm here to get laughs as a mercenary. And it's all on, and he's like, I'm the headliner. I'm the guy that's got to get that in. So that's cool to, nothing phases him, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I've only seen him perform. I think I shook his hand at the emo show, but I didn't get a chance to actually like talk with him. It's on my list. I definitely want to.
I know. I thought you were coming up to Waterville. I was excited.
I was gonna, and I had the green light. And every weekend I go do a show. My son looks at me and goes, "Can you cancel? Can you cancel?" And I had 4 days off in a row with him. I'm like, I'm not gonna break this up, man. I'm like, I just had like that dad moment, and then he fucking ignored me that night. And I was like, I could have fucking been killing in fucking Waterville, Maine, or actually New Hampshire now, which is even better because that's
even better,
much of a better drive.
Yeah,
but oh man, yeah. So kids are fun. How are you?
Would have crushed it. You would have crushed it. Yeah, kids are fucking tough. This week's a good week for us. Lots of shows going on. Got 3 in a row to end the week off.
Not me. Your camera just went crazy. You got a ghost in there?
The camera moved?
Yes.
Well, I don't have it on a stand.
All right. Yeah, when you lean back. Oh, maybe your headphone thing. Yeah, you like yawned and the camera just like slightly tilted. That was crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just have the Rise and Grind with you. I wanted to bring this up because you're doing 20 at Rise and Grind. I'm doing 10. And we don't have to do this. I was gonna suggest, what if we each chose one joke that the other has to throw into their set.
Mm.
Because I mean, it's a legit show, right? It's a showcase.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you're technically a headliner. So there's
I mean,
4 of us, a host.
It's
technically
quite a
headliner,
technicality that I'm the headliner, but yeah.
but it's one of those shows where you can take liberties.
Oh my god, I'm the headliner. I'm going to take so many liberties. I'm going to say anything. But yeah, I'm in.
You're in.
You can pick. Yeah, sure. Do you have?
I was thinking one of 2 ways. Either we straight out say you're doing this joke, or we give each other like 2 jokes and you say pick one of those 2 and throw them in.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with either one of those.
Right.
We'll do the you have to route.
Oh,
and do one.
and do one. All right.
Yeah, because to me it's like 20% of your set, so it's much more impactful to you. So I'll tell you. Doesn't matter what you say. I'm like, oh, whatever.
When's the deadline of when we're going to throw it in? Because
Before you go up, like I'll tell you, like you add this one in. Yes, come up with like 8 minutes, and I'll give you your 2 before you go up.
that's interesting. Because what I'm nervous about with that.
You're bad at it. That's why I want to do it.
Huh?
You're bad at it. That's why I want to do it.
Well, no, it's not that. It's because I already have a couple of jokes in mind, and there's some that I'm concerned, like if we do it that route, that you may not remember.
Oh yeah, totally.
So I wanted to give you some time that you might be able to rethink the joke and acclimate yourself to how it's told.
It's true. I do kind of need that now because I don't practice ever. So when sometimes I'll before I'll go on stage, especially if I'm doing 15 plus minutes, I'll go sometimes to an older joke, and I'm like, I'll just throw this in. This is a great idea. I'll see what happens. I got time, and then I'll in my head when I'm going through the set, I'm like, oh yeah, this one's next, and I'll start it, and I'll have no idea how it goes. That's happened to me a couple of times, and I'm like, oh fuck, I should have thought about
Well,
this
that's what
more.
I'm saying. Like, I don't want to fuck you over.
It's my job as the headliner Wayne, to overcome. That's why they're paying me more at the $0 or whatever.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we'll see. So, but yeah, we got Thursday. We're doing Hampton again at the barbecue place. I'm pre-booked.
Yeah, Thursday is my son's birthday, so I won't be there.
God damn it! Second place, I could
Yeah.
give you a spot on that. You're not going to make it.
Yeah, I want
And
to
it's your son again. That son of a.
He's maybe. Now he's probably going to ignore me again. But no, I want to. He's turning 6, so I'm pumped about that.
Oh
He
my
almost
God.
drowned today.
Ooh. Almost didn't turn 6. What happened?
No, it wasn't quite that bad. But he's in a summer camp program, and on Tuesdays they go to like a lake. They have a beach day. They go to a lake, whatever. And, they let the kids go in, and they have their little life vest on, whatever. And they have an app that you have to like check your kid in and out, and they send you messages and stuff. But I can't figure out how to turn on notifications. So like when they send me a message, it's like, hey, here's a message from this. So if I don't actively check the app, I don't get that information. So I check them out. They come outside, and I get out to help them with the stuff to get out. And the girl comes over, who I've never met this one. I've met a bunch of the people that whatever spend the day with them. This particular girl I did not. She's like, "Oh, did you get the message?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "Well, he had a little bit of an incident at the lake. You might just read the message. Just read the message." I was the one that helped them. Just read the message. And I was like, "What the fuck's going on here?" I was like, "What happened?" So, long story short, I read the message. All it was he was in the lake, and he went over the little. You remember the buoy things, the line of buoys? It's
Oh
like,
yeah,
don't go over
you
that.
get it. You don't go over those.
Yeah, so he went under, and then his feet couldn't touch the bottom, and he freaked out. So he just started, you know?
Yeah.
And
Jason
he was like the Dave
Voorheesing.
Chappelle, like, welcome to your watery grave.
Yeah.
But no, he like freaked out a little bit, and the girl like swam over and like brought him out. And he said he didn't almost drown. He had flotation devices, everything. He was fine. But
But he was panicking.
if you talk to him, he almost died today. Today was his final moments on Earth. But
Might as well be. He was scared. He was Jason Voorheesing out there. And fucking.
he was. I think he was scared in the moment. He could care less now. He could care less a little bit later because he went back in the water after. He's like, yeah, fuck that, I'm good. He went and got a push pop, a little snack shack, and then right back in.
Damn, that lady's a hero. Should have kissed her.
With consent.
With
consent, yeah.
well, what if she didn't know she'd like it, so you had to force it on her? Like, you're gonna like this.
Next subject.
Sometimes you gotta kiss them, but they don't want it, and then
You have any good bombs lately?
transition.
Besides that,
Well, I was like, "There's something funny about that." No. Yeah, bomb all the time. But I'm trying to think of. I guess the only I wanted to say, and I never got to it. I don't think is that person asked me to do time before they went up, and the joke kind of bombed a little bit. I was like, it was. I did Tigers, at the Waterville place, and crushed. It was awesome, but I
you
realized
did that
that's
during
not-
your set.
Yeah, you can't
That's
do
one of those
that.
jokes. You need to get them on their side. And at that point,
Yep.
after how long did Dan do? 15 minutes? 20?
15,
Yeah.
a crushing
After
15.
15 minutes, they forget that they like you.
Yeah, or they never did, but
Or
they were just putting up with me. Yeah, as a host, it's the line that you go. So I really didn't. I just was gonna do that joke, and I didn't do it during my regular set. I was like, I'll just do that as the joke to kill the time. I wasn't thinking about the crowd at all, which is so stupid. I was just like, oh, like what joke eats up more than a minute that I think is a strong joke, but I didn't really think like, man, maybe I should just do a you don't have to think about this at all quick joke just to break the ice and move on. And actually, the idea that Ken had is like, in this scenario where the girl's trying to change the energy, just like you don't have to do jokes. Like, just check in. How you guys doing? Like, how's the show going for you? Look at this guy over here with the funny hat. Call him gay. Like whatever. Just get.
It was one of the best things. I'm sorry.
That was, yeah. Harrison Stebbins looking at a guy like, you look gay. Such a good.
Oh, can you say that guy? And I never sent you the video, but that guy in particular had the best laugh. And,
yeah, I
the video I was
heard.
gonna send you was from well, it was more like a drawn out. So the video I was going to send you was from UHF, where the head of the opposing TV station is the father of this guy, and he like makes a joke or whatever, and then his son and then the other two workers pretend to laugh, and the son's laugh was that guy's laugh. It was like which is exactly what that guy was doing.
Yeah, it was like you said. I was doing new stuff because it was a guest spot, and I got him to do that a couple times where I noticed it. But it was really when Zach went up and was doing really good after me.
Yep.
That guy fucking the whole
I
time.
caught it a couple times during my set, but not like when Harrison was up. Not like when Zach was up, but yeah.
The feature.
My favorite thing about that night was the manager was sitting at the bar, and at the end of the night, normally, I got this from you, kind of, or definitely got this from you, but like getting the crowd to like erupt to make the other people in the venue that weren't part of the show realize that they missed out, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody in the fucking place.
Nope.
So I'm like, how am I going to do this?
I know.
So
I said, why would in my head while you're doing? I was like, why would he try to do this? This is one of those times where you don't do that.
Well, no. So what I did is I just called up the manager. I was like, hey, the fucking manager's sitting right there. Let's let him know that we had a good time so we can come back. Right? So I said, that guy out there, you see that guy? And I saw everybody look, and I'm like, that guy is Mike. He's the manager. And then like the entire front row. They're like, "We love Mike. We know Mike." I was like, "Oh fuck." But they made some noise. It was good. It was a good
They
time.
did. I fucking want. So I do that at the end of every show, and laughing like that guy. So the guy left.
It was exactly how you laughed.
But sometimes what I'll do after, like, especially if someone like Ken is going up because he's so you don't have to worry about him good.
Mm-hmm.
Where I don't even have to look at the watch. Like, he's gonna fucking be on time and perfectly good. I'll just get fucking so high, but in the green room, wherever that is. And then I go up and I'm like, hey, everybody, let's cover the parking. Go over, let's shop. Let's go. Good night. So yeah, it was pretty funny. After the Waterville show, some guy in there was like, he was this old guy, but he was like a student of comedy type of guy. Like, he's a fan of comedy in itself, and he wanted to give me and Dan advice.
Oh.
Yeah. So first thing, when I brought up Ken, I was like, this is like literally one of my favorite comedians in the world to watch because he's so awesome. I was like, I think he's one of the best in the industry. All that brought him up. Then I was talking to the guy. And the guy came up to me and Dan while we were getting a drink. And he was like, all right, couple things. One, I have really high criteria of who I think is one of the best in the industry. So, right there. And he's like, two, he's like, you were, pointing at me, you were a little too fast on your jokes, for sure. But your punchlines were incredible and they came out of nowhere, but you were way too fast. And then he looked at Dan and he's like, and you were couching your punchlines. Like, they're like right before they come out. And me and Dan were like, who's this fucking guy? But yeah, people
funny.
do that. People do that. And you're like, I don't understand if people know how much you're hated when you do that. When you go up to somebody like, let me give you advice. People look at you like, oh, I wish there's a train in between us so I can push you in front of.
You know, it's funny. One thing I've had on my mind as a topic of conversation here is, like, some of the most annoying questions you get, or the most annoying comments you get when people find out that you do comedy. I didn't think of that end of it, the criteria.
Yeah,
where people will give you advice. You know, people who most likely never step foot on stage or whatever. Not saying it's not good advice or whatever, but
well, I'm used to it in the open mic scene where you get that from other comedians, but this guy was just like a fan, like just a guy who liked comedy that goes to comedy shows.
do you think he had good advice though?
I don't know. So
I'm gonna say no, because I think that if anything, you could speed up a little bit.
I do talk a little bit slower. Like I try to. Well, this is the thing. Why he might be right, and also this is another thing. When anybody gives you advice as a comedian at all, if it's a negative thing about you, there's a voice in the back of your head that goes, "Is he right?" Because we really don't know. And like if someone said like, you need to speak less Spanish up there, I'd be like, "Fuck, am I speaking too much Spanish?" Like we're just so insecure. Like it's a comedians are the most insecure people in the world. So I was down for it. But as a host, I usually do go a little faster on purpose because I'm trying to be 1.5 Anthony. Like I'm trying to be.
Is that because of what the booker told you?
No, it's what Will Noonan told me. Not based on my set, but he said like a good thing to keep in mind as a host is he's like, just be a hackier, quicker version of yourself. He's like, you gotta it's not ideal, but it's ideal for the show because he's like, it's not really about like. And Ken said the same thing. He's like, as a host, he's like, it's really not about your jokes. He's like, it's about your ability to keep the crowd like the lion tamer in the lion. Like, you got to keep the crowd in line. He's like, it's my job for the jokes and and all that, which is fair and right.
I find I tend to be faster as a host, anyways. For the reason that, like, we talk about you're getting their attention. The laughs aren't as obvious, I guess. Say.
No, you're right. Yeah.
So when there's not as many laughs, there's not as much breaks. So you tend to just kind of. It's not even stepping on laughs because it's just they're shorter laugh breaks. So I find that whenever I host, my same set might be 14 minutes versus 17 minutes, just because you're compensating for the people just getting into place, getting their drinks, talking to the wait staff to get their food order.
Sure.
So you're missing out on a bunch of stuff. So you're not getting those longer laugh breaks or intervals or whatever.
Yeah, the headline said I'm probably planning on doing like a similar amount of jokes than I did opening the 15-minute set. Just because I'm not saying the laughs are going to be louder. I'm just going to be more relaxed because of that station of it, you know. You take more water breaks, you walk slower, you set up jokes longer just because you think that you can earn it because the show's kind of warmed up by that point. Mm-hmm. But when you're hosting, you're like, keep the energy, keep the energy, keep the energy. And that's what you're trying to keep in. But no, it was nice learning experiences across the board because, you know, one, having a comedian in the middle say, you know, do a joke, basically restart your set, and it not going great was a good learning experience because I know not to do that again. That you only learn that with experience.
Yep.
So, and also, anytime I can work with Ken, pretty sweet because that guy is just such a beast. It's got such a good closer.
What are you writing for like new minutes? Like, how's your creative process lately? Because this past, it's been so nice. Like, it's been wicked hot, but like my yard I have a tree right here, so my yard is mostly in shade for most of the day. And I spent like Thursday night, a lot of a good portion of Friday, Saturday, just in my yard in the shade and just fucking like writing.
I don't do that. I can't. I wish I could, but there's not like I could look over old material and try to see if I can get it to just by reading it, get a new angle going. And sure, that's a good way to write. But the new material I've been doing has been all single phrase thoughts that I've been trying to expand on. Mm-hmm. Like I think 2 weeks ago I did a show for Jeremy at his point thing, and I did 7 new minutes. So those are the stuff I'm working on. Kind of,
we kind of talked
the
about
pound
that.
joke. Yeah,
like our differences. Where you can write on stage. I have a very hard time writing on stage. I need to have like even a bare bones skeleton thing and go up and do it and then add to it and just like almost like putting ornaments on a tree. Like I have the tree and then I set the tree up and the next time I go up I start putting ornaments on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sometimes like it really came to me when Mike told me to talk about my wife as a florist, and he's like, just go talk about that. And I got that good, what I think is a pretty good joke out of it.
It is.
That was like the hardest that joke has ever gotten to laugh was that time. So that it was just something to think about.
Because it was real.
Yeah.
So off the top of your head, the same thing with like when you like quote unquote kill in front of your friends when you're just like shooting the shit. Mm-hmm. Right? It's never going to be as real as when you say it off the cuff.
It's true. I've been really trying.
I'm one of these people. Some people just can't do that on stage.
You'll be able to. That's a developable skill. It's just more and more. You just have to be prepared to bomb, and it's hard to put yourself in that position where you're like, "Fuck, I know because this is the devil's advocate side. Is if you do this, you'll bomb a lot of the time that you do it when you're trying to write a new joke and you don't have anything up there, so that's going to happen. But that off-the-cuff thing you just talked about, where it's real, only happens when you do that. When you overwrite something, it's clear you wrote it. Like, that's the problem with writing everything down, is it comes off like you wrote it, because people talk differently than they write. So you will do better 90% of the time when the first couple times you do the joke when you put that extra effort in the beginning. But I don't know if it ever hits that, that fever pitch of the in the moment spontaneity that you get. Maybe you develop it into it, but maybe you get it quicker if you know. I don't know.
Yeah, I find that like a lot of things I write, the first few times I do it, it does sound like that, but then I try to make it. Not that I try to. I think you get more comfortable with, like we talked about, ad-libbing certain parts of it. So when you know what you want to say, you're more, like for me, I'm more comfortable ad-libbing the way I get into it, or the way that I say the thing, or what I say after it. But to go up there all eyes on you, and then just come up off the spot. And I struggle with that, and I do hope to gain that skill at some point. But for now, for me, that's not it. I'm a pen to paper guy. Go up and work it out. Work it out on both ends, 50-50 versus, swaying one way over the other.
Yeah. Hey, there has been parts of me that has kicked myself in the ass sometimes for like, man, you forgot that joke where if you would have practiced it in your car 3 times, you would have known how that joke went before you went up there. But I just feel so much more, like since I stopped doing that, I felt a lot more natural on stage. And also a need to be present. Like there's no autopilot in me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so I noticed in the Thursday show there's a little bit of autopilot in me in the sense of I have been doing new shit for like the last month at showcases. And if I do a showcase, I'm not doing like a standard set. And Thursday was one of those, you got to go up and do standard material. Because it was a real show, 100 plus people, so I couldn't fuck around.
Yep.
And I noticed it was a little bit more robotic, and I wasn't... A couple of jokes I hadn't done in 3 weeks, I kind of just like powered through them, where on Saturday, I more made it a point to myself. I'm like, stay in the moment. Think about the joke you're saying. Like, think about why you're talking about it. Make sure your segues lead into the joke are different. And why I'm saying that it really helped is because if I created a new way to get into a joke, it makes you think about why you wrote the joke. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If you're doing the same exact segue, you fall into that autopilot thing where you're just saying the same words over and over again. And then it comes off that way. But
that's why I've been writing jokes and then like shoehorning them into my other jokes, like
changing the order up.
Yep, and it kind of changes the way that it comes across. Yeah, I get what you're saying there. Yeah.
Yeah, and that could just be as easy as if you do the same order every time, jumble up your order, because then you're gonna need to do different segues to get into them. And then you just think about why you like the joke that I did was Lady of the Night. I decided on the Amesbury night, not the Amesbury, the second night there, Waterville, that the crowd was so good. I'm like, man, I'm going to hit them with a darker joke. I want to hit them with Lady of the Night. But I didn't know where to put it in the set, so I just kept doing my set until I got to the point where I had like a punching enough punchline that it bit a little bit. I just wanted to get like the gasp laugh on one of the jokes. And the second I felt that, I was like, oh, good. Now's the time to insert that joke. So I had to create a new segue to get into it just based on I felt like the crowd energy was right at the time. That's a new skill. I haven't been able to do that before, so that was nice to think about that way, where I'm more... It's like football. So in football, if you're on a offensive team, if you're Tom Brady and you're the Patriots, you look for cues for the defense to tell you when to pick a play. Like the defense sets up in this formation. All right, we can do this play then. You're reactive to it. And for me, forever, my jokes have been, I'm doing these. These are the jokes I'm doing. This is my set I've prepared. And I will pivot if it's not going well. But this is more the first time where it was going well. And I was just like, all right, I have this in my back pocket. If they show me this side of themselves, I'll bring out this joke. And they did, and it was at a time, I think it was whale jokes, which I have a joke about my wife calling me a sloth. And I either end it on her calling me a sloth so that I'm getting shit on, self-deprecation ends there, or I have a turn where I call her a sperm whale because she's pregnant in the joke. And that is if I want to bite, if I want to turn it on, because I look like an asshole when I say that, but if the crowd likes you enough, that turn is good, and you get a big pop from it. So I chose that moment where I was like, all right, here, I'm going to do a biting joke a little bit, see what their reaction was. If it's big enough, I'll go into Lady of the Night because it's dark. And that happened, and it was sweet. It ended up Lady of the Night got the best response, as it normally fucking does. I love that joke. I'm just afraid to do it in front of old ladies. Sometimes they do, like, oh my God. 14-year-old too.
Yeah.
Maybe shouldn't have done it in front of them, but it was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Damn.
That one's nice because it's so shocking that I said the punchline, and I sometimes if you don't get a laugh right away, you're like, they didn't like the joke, and you just start your new joke or get a save. This one, I knew they just weren't gonna like understand how dark I just went, so I let it sit. I said the end of the joke, I was like, and then I heard some guy go, and then the crowd started getting it. It was awesome. Yeah, because that's a joke about compromise, meet in the middle, come on my tits. What a joke. All right.
You have the hands under the chin. You're just,
Yeah, as I was talking about billboards before this. Or just might as well be my best joke, which is so confusing. That billboards joke, both shows, fucking people love that joke. And I like it. Like, I think it's a good mechanical joke and all that, but I'm kind of distanced from it in a way now where I'm confused on why people like why that one will get the best response on a set. And I don't know what it is. Is relatability of driving or something?
it's relatable. It's also, I mean, you doing you do that mostly when you're hosting, or you do that when you're
Almost only when I'm like, if I got a longer set, I'll do it too. But I like to do it when I'm hosting because normally when you're the first person up, there's like a beer line that occurs, and people are just getting drinks and they're not sitting down yet. So you got two options. You either crowd work and bullshit in the beginning, which I think is probably, if you're good at that, is the way to go, because you can really get them on your side by being in the moment like that. Or I like to do jokes that, a lot of my stuff is cerebral, where you go, oh, and that's the laugh. It's so on left field, but it makes sense. Like, that's the type of jokes I like to write. But there are a few jokes that I have that are, you don't need to think too deep into them. They're just like the joke, my kids are mistakes. There's nothing, that one's a really easy one to get. So those type of jokes I like to do more in the beginning, because it's kind of sacrificing it to the drink gods until they're paying attention. And if they're in line, they can still laugh at that because they get it. And I don't know. It's just got the beginning of that billboards joke is, I saw a billboard while I was driving down the highway, and it said, only you can prevent distracted driving. And that's just a setup. But if I pause properly in that, it gets one of the biggest laughs of the joke, actually, weirdly. I don't know, because they connect that it's distracting to have a billboard that says only you can prevent distracted driving.
it's just silly as it is.
And I never understood that. Like, when I first heard when I first wrote the joke, that was not where I considered a laugh to come from. It was more that it was an electronic billboard, and the next ad was for Hooters. So that's like the first part of the joke. And then I go into like, the one billboard said, say no to drinking and driving. The next billboard said, say yes to Cappy's Liquors on Route 1. So it's not like a super cerebral heavy joke, but I think it's a good one. Like, it's a silly, and it makes sense, like, because that billboard does exist, and it's super distracting because it's a billboard. Like, it's literally designed to distract you. But yeah, no, I'm still confused on that one, but I don't know where I was going with that. Bragging about a joke. What a piece of shit I am.
Yes.
Confirmed. All right, what else we got before we wrap this bitch up?
I don't think anything. It's not much.
All right.
Not much going on. We have Rise and Grind this Friday, which this is going to come out after that happens. So it was a fantastic show. Thank you, Terrence, for having us.
Thanks,
Anthony,
Terrence.
Great headlining set.
I did so good. I ended up with 5 groupies afterwards.
Yep, and I can't believe you fit in that joke that I told you to do.
Exactly. A
From
lot of
2.5
C words
years
in
ago
it.
that you definitely don't remember.
You're going to be like, dude, be cocky. And I'll be like, oh, Jesus.
That was one I had in my mind.
Yeah, no, don't give me one of those.
I'm not giving you that one.
Where I'm going to be like, all right, guys, I'm going to just say, like, hey, someone asked me to do this joke. It's going to be really bad. Let's do it.
Oh, I was going to say that should be a stipulation where we can't do that.
Can't say, like, all right, it seems
No, because the
odd
last
that
couple times I saw you do this, somebody gave you something to do, or like you asked me to pick your set, or Mike gave you random, and you said, well, this person told me to... No. I think a
I
stipulation...
agree, actually.
Stipulation is we can't do it. We just have to fit it in.
All right. Yeah, that's fair. Because I wish I didn't. We had this whole thing about me wishing I didn't, or Mike didn't mention it last time he did that.
Yeah.
And everybody said that I was an insecure little bitch. And I was like, all right, thanks. But yeah. The best thing about being an insecure little bitch is when someone says that to you. It's think about the insecurity that you have to then be called insecure. You're like, I don't have anything in my pockets. I got nothing. All right, well, come see us at places, and then after that, oh my God, I'm gonna do. You're gonna do the Comedy Studio, and I'm gonna do Empire Comedy Club.
Yeah. So the week this comes out, Saturday, July 19th, I'm doing McHugh's.
Oh yeah, McHugh's. Go to Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Yeah. So
Watch the
come see that. Come see that. That'll be fun. I have no idea who's on that show. It'll be fun. And then the following week is Nick's, and the week after that is Comedy Studio.
Oh my God!
I had it wrong
see
a
Wayne.
couple weeks ago.
Oh, did you? Fuck. Well, go see Wayne at one of those historic places that he's doing comedy in, and go see me at the bars I'm doing comedy in. Goodbye.